What's up guys, Matt from Top Tier here, back at you with another video today. I thought I'd follow up on my Dark Souls 3 video here. Today for you I have a Sekiro Shadows Die Twice tier list video. I'm going to be going over all the main bosses in the series. As you guys know, the Soulsborne games are some of my favorite games of all time. But like I said, the only ones I've beaten are Dark Souls 3 and Sekiro Shadows Die Twice, so today I'm going to be going over Sekiro. We got a couple tiers here. Of course, we got S, top tier. We have A, B, C, D, and trash. I don't know if any will fall into the trash tier, but you never know. Anyways, let's go ahead and get into it without further delay. The first boss we have here on this list is the True Corrupted Monk that you fight when you first get to Fountainhead Palace. Now, this is a cool fight. There is a way to kind of cheese this boss battle to make it easier, but it's actually a fairly, if you don't know that, it's actually a fairly difficult boss fight. The true monk is just, it's way harder than the fake one which you fight in the depths. But I'm gonna go ahead and give this boss fight a B tier. I don't think it's one of the stronger boss fights in the game. Oh yeah, and before I go any further, I should mention that I'm gonna be rating the bosses off of 2 criteria, and that's difficulty and fairness, and the design of the boss. So having those 2 criteria in mind, I think the True Corrupted Monk gets a B tier from me. Next up on the list we have Divine Dragon. This is a badass fight. This is the most cinematic fight in the game by far. The only issue with the fight is that it's super easy. I think I one-shotted this boss, but beautiful fight. I love the locale for this. Like this is one of the coolest looking fights in probably all of Soulsborne, I gotta say. But yeah, it is a very easy fight. It's a pretty brainless boss fight. So I'm gonna go ahead and give it a B tier. Might move it up, but I think it's gonna stay at B tier for now. But yeah, Divine Dragon, that is a cool fight. Not gonna lie, very, very easy, but very beautiful. I'll play some of the footage here in the video so you guys can see what I'm talking about. But yeah, love the Divine Dragon, just not higher for that reason, because it's just too damn easy. I think this is Owl's second stage. And both the Owl boss fights, I'm gonna give the A tier. The second one is a little bit more difficult, but the first one was pretty good too. I thought it was a fair and challenging fight when you first take on Owl. And the story leading up to it is just so fascinating about how he like fakes his death and all that shit. Yeah, and he turns out to be a bad guy, but yeah, Owl, Sekiro's father. This is a good fight, father versus son. You know, just a straight up slugfest. And for that, I'm gonna give both the Owl fights a tier on this list. Demon of Hatred, man, this is a good ass boss fight. I'm not gonna give away the the story behind this, but yeah, the lore behind this boss fight is pretty interesting, and it has to do with the prosthetic tool maker that you meet in the beginning of the game. But yeah, anyways, this boss fight for me is gonna get an S tier, I believe. This is one hell of a boss fight, and technically it could be the last boss that you fight in the game, but there's one other. But Demon of Hatred is one hell of a challenging fight. I mean, this one took me countless tries. There is a way you can do it, I believe, to make it a little easier, but I don't know. I had a hell of a time with the Demon of Hatred. He just kicked my ass over and over again, and you know, you gotta love that. But yeah, Demon of Hatred, it's a weird one. The way you fight it is almost more like a Dark Souls boss, if you know what I mean. But yeah, I'm gonna give the Demon of Hatred an S tier. Just an amazing fight, all in all. I loved it. Isshin the Sword Saint. This is the final boss that you fight in the game. And I'm gonna give this an S tier as well. I think this is a damn good fight. At least I believe this is, or this is the second stage. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and give it an S tier. This is one hell of a good fight. Very, very challenging. He has a couple tools that he uses. I mean, he has a sword, and he also has a gun that he pulls out and he whips out in like the second stage. And then he also has lightning, I think, in the third stage. I'm not really sure. I don't remember the fight too well. But yeah, this was a damn good fight. A perfect climax for this game, which is one hell of a game. So I'm gonna go ahead and give that a Isshin the Sword Saint gets a S tier for me. Gyoubu, this guy that rides the horse. Yeah, this was a good fight, dude. I'm gonna give this an A tier as well. You have this guy break through and just chase you down on this big ass horse, and you have to kind of use your grappling hook to like pull him down, and it's a cool fight. Definitely one of the cooler bosses in the game, I would say, and probably the first boss you fight where the difficulty really goes up like quite a bit. So, and with that said, I'm gonna go ahead and give him the A tier. Lady Butterfly. I'm gonna give Lady Butterfly not one of my favorite fights in the game. I'm gonna give Lady Butterfly a C tier. This fight, I think to me, it kind of depends on where you are in the game and how leveled up your character is. And also how skilled you are at the game. If you take on this fight early on, it might seem fairly difficult, but if you go and you play around it and you take some time to hone your skills, you can go back and totally destroy Lady Butterfly. At least in my opinion, anyways. So with that said, I'm gonna give Lady Butterfly the C. An alright boss fight, but definitely not one of my favorites. There are far better on this list, I think. So, Lady Butterfly gets the C tier for me. Genichiro. Genichiro gets a... I'm gonna give Genichiro a tier. His boss fight is very, very difficult if you don't know what you're doing. This is the point in the game where you better have your shit together, and if you don't, you're just gonna get your ass kicked into the ground. So, yeah, Genichiro, awesome boss fight. I really liked his second phase where he has the I forgot what it's called, but he has a lightning ability too that he can, you have to deflect, you have to jump up in the air and deflect it. That's pretty cool. Yeah, I'm gonna give his boss fight an A tier for sure. Definitely a badass fight. And like I said, it's where the difficulty really ramps up, and if you don't have your shit together by the time you fight Genichiro, you're gonna be fucked. So, yeah, getting an A tier from me for sure. The monks, the folding monkeys. This boss fight was kinda interesting. It was more of a puzzle fight than anything. Where each monkey has a different sense, and you have to kind of track down all the monkeys and get them back into the paper. I'm gonna go ahead and give this a B tier, just because it was something different. It was kind of a nice change of pace, I think. And it wasn't difficult at all, don't get me wrong. These two bosses, the Divine Dragon and the Folding Paper Monkeys, are just completely easy bosses where it's kind of a joke, but they're cool bosses in their own way, so I'm going to go ahead and give the Folding Monkeys a B tier. Alright, next up we have the Guardian Ape. Guardian Ape is a damn good fight. I'm going to give it a B tier. I really like the Guardian Ape fight, especially when I first played it. It's just a badass, like, brutal kind of fight where, like, the first stage you have to fight him and he's like, he throws shit at you, and yeah, the first stage is crazy, but then it gets even crazier with the second stage, you know, because you cut his head off essentially at the end of the first stage, and then a parasite kind of grows out of his body and takes over it like Resident Evil style, and he turns into this kind of headless beast that moves all crazy and shit, and you have to kind of adjust to his new patterns. So yeah, I'm gonna give the Guardian Ape fight a B tier. Next on this list we have the Headless Ape, and you know, I'll be honest, I didn't like the Headless Ape as much as I liked the Guardian Ape. I'm gonna go ahead and give the Headless Ape fight a C tier. And the reason for that is, by the time I got to the Headless, I didn't want to see a boss reused in this game, and that's exactly what happened here. You know, it happens a couple other times, but that was kind of disappointing. Not only that, but now the Headless Ape has a partner, which also is really easy to defeat. But by the time you get to Headless Ape, you really know what's going on, and I think there's a way you can really cheese this boss fight to get through it pretty easily. But if you don't know what you're doing, you're going to have a hard time, you know? I think that's kind of the common theme of all these boss fights, so... yeah, Headless Ape for me, I'm gonna give it a C tier. For sure. Okay, so the fake corrupted monk. This is a D tier fight. This almost feels more like a mini boss, if you ask me. Not a good fight at all. I don't think it's worth anything higher than a D. You kind of just blow through this boss fight when you get to it. It's not difficult at all. I think you do have to have the Divine Confetti, and you can just kind of cut through this guy, no problem. The other Corrupted Monk, the true Corrupted Monk boss fight is way better than this one, so yeah, don't be too disappointed. But yeah, the false Corrupted Monk gets a D tier for me. Almost trash tier, but I'm gonna go ahead and give it a D tier. Yeah, not one of the better boss fights in the game. And it's also another reused boss, which kind of grinds my gears. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and give that the D tier. And last but not least, we have the Isshin, Ashina, and the Emma the Gentle Blade combo boss fight, you know, where you kill Emma. And then I think Isshin Ashina takes her place for the last round of the fight. And anyways, this boss fight, I'm going to go ahead and give it a C tier. I don't really have a whole lot to say about it. It wasn't one of my favorites. So yeah, that's going to get a C tier. But yeah, anyways, let me know if you guys are fans of Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice, and if you want to see another Sekiro game in the future. Also, let me know what your favorite Soulsborne game is, and let me know what you think of this tier list in the comment section down below. How would you rate this list? What are some of your favorite boss fights in the game? What would you consider to be S tier boss fights? I think for me, it's definitely Demon of Hatred, and Isshin. The last boss battle with him was definitely badass, where he comes out of Genichiro. So yeah, anyways, this is my Sekiro Shadows Die Twice boss list. Anyways, thank you guys for making it through the end of this video. If you like this content, as always, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I really appreciate all the support you guys have been giving me lately. Anyways, until next time, I'm out. Peace.